The misuse of science in the fields of like, say, cloning. Here, there's nothing at the end of the journey. The journey is the price itself. You were dead wrong. We're all interested in one thing. Do they know who you think you are? Don't you know who I think I am? I'm a king. Do they know who you think you are? Don't you know who I think I am? Do they know who you think you are? Don't you know who I think I am? I'm a king. Do they know who you think you are? Don't you know who I think I am? I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king, I'm a king. Not because of my eminent features, but because I occupy a certain place in a socio-symbolic edifice. That is because others treat me like a king. I stole the keys to my dungeon under the eyes of guards, and you'll be disappointed to learn that all of my success can be attributed to my granddad, the inventor of pants. This is my house, my roof, my job, my town, my lawn, my income, my opinion, my pain, my job, my knowledge. What I want to say, everything is mine. Are you ready? Are you ready to become a protagonist? Huh? So when Einstein died in 1955, his brain was removed during an unsanctioned autopsy at a hospital in Princeton. Later, at the University of Pennsylvania, a pathologist named Thomas Stoltz Harvey sliced it up for research purposes, but kept some of the slivers to himself. Then, in 1988, Harvey, who'd since been stripped of his medical license, moved to Lawrence, home of the University of Kansas, where he presented one of those slivers to local author William S. Burroughs, after whose death in 1997 it passed into possession of... I'm gonna stop now. I don't want to get anyone into trouble. This ridiculously idiotic podcast I had with this guy who literally, in my book, knows probably as much about sales as, like, I don't know, literally, the guy knows nothing, okay? So I'm very confused. I'm very confused about a guy that can't answer the most basic questions about selling. And all he kept saying was, you gotta have a full pipeline. You gotta have a full pipeline. You gotta have a full pipeline. Yeah, obviously you wanna have a full pipeline. You know what that's called? Marketing. I'll put a big M. Marketing. There's this huge, seems to be, misunderstanding out there of this distinction between marketing and sales. So I called this guy Grant on my pod, supposed to be a great sales trainer, and a guy couldn't answer anything about selling, kept referring back to, you gotta advertise, people gotta know. Yeah, that's marketing. Let me tell you something, all of you marketers out here. You know that all the big marketers, all the successful ones, they come to me to sell. They come to me to learn how to sell. They come to me to increase their ability to communicate their ideas, because here's the deal. Marketing brings people into the funnel. That's step one. And yes, you want to be an expert marketer. And thankfully, with the platforms we have today with online marketing, you can make a bloody fortune as an online marketer. But let me tell you something. Ones that really make money, they've schooled themselves in selling. How do you close the deal? 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 Marketing brings people into your funnel. So I kept saying, okay, great, great. You're in your funnel now. You're in your funnel now. You're in your funnel now, and it's packed. What do you do now? What do you do next? What do you say first? What do you say second? That's what sales is all about. I mean, conspiracy theories, I find them boring, you know. I think conspiracy theory type of thinking hooks the brain because it feels like critical thinking, you know, and critical. Critical is good. It's that tendency to feel strongly about something and then decide that the intensity of those feelings means that there must be someone responsible. I mean, don't get me wrong, people seem to be getting work done. It's hard to tell. Everybody keeps saying the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and then they say something else. But that's not possible, you know. It seems to me you're in a great need of affirmation, so allow me to affirm you. You're great. You're cool. I mean, depends how you define cool. As a pretty cool guy myself, I think being cool is dope. And part of being cool is not being a touchy dum-dum. But I got interested in mind readings and fortune telling, fake fortune telling, and I got to know a lot of old fakes who retired as millionaires, and they told me their secrets, how you do it. They're things that are called cold readings. Cold reading. Cold reading. What's that? Cold reading is you warm up the sucker by telling him things that he says, how could he ever know that, you see? You say between the ages of 13 and 15, a great change came in your life. Well, that happens in everyone's life, you know. He says he came in and told me things he couldn't have seen. You got a scar on your knee. Well, everybody fell down and has a scar on their knee. Those are cold readings, you see. Now, the point about this is that after they're all warmed up, they're amazed by this neat bit and the rest of it. They start telling you. Because you just say, is it? And then you see from their face, it is, isn't, and you tell it back. So I was bored. I was playing in Kansas City with Catherine Cornell one time. We didn't have any matinee on Wednesday, so I hired a room and put Dr. Swami, fortune teller, $2 readings. And for the whole day, they came in, each one. I said, I'm not going to take your money because I couldn't have really taken, but for the whole day, they came in, and I was a fake fortune teller, faking. But then there began to happen to me the thing that does happen to fortune tellers, and which is the occupational disease of fraudulence. Fortune tellers, they have a name for it. It's called becoming a shut-eye. And a shut-eye, in the argot of these crooks, is the fella who begins to believe himself. Yeah. You make these wild guesses. One of them explains to me, suppose you're a night clerk in a hotel. Fella comes in, wants a single room. You look how good his luggage is, how good are his shoes, and you tell him there's a room in a court, there's no room, or yes, sir, depending on various pieces of evidence. Suppose you've been a night clerk long enough, you glance, and you tell him. Suppose you've been a night clerk a little longer. You don't have to look. You've seen it, but the computer has made all those deductions without you being conscious of it, so that the mind reader gets, so that he, without thinking, does that, and then they say it's true. And a woman came to me at the end of my career as a fraudulent fortune teller in a bright print dress, sat down looking perfectly all right, and I said, you lost your husband last week. She burst into tears. She had. Terrible. Then I quit. Terrible. I mean, it's undoubtedly, it's not psychic. Undoubtedly. There was evidence of a tragedy. There was all kinds of things that went into my computer and got processed without me crookedly thinking, what am I gonna say to her? And I think that's how it works, you know? The misuse of science in the fields of like, say, cloning, advanced biological research, development of synthetic bacteria, sinister development. One sees in computers and a control over every aspect of our lives that advanced data processing techniques provide on a huge range of themes. Science fiction, you know, since the days of Wells, has been remarkably accurate, I think, in predicting the sort of very confused and uncertain response to these changes. You know, one mistake in a way, one way in which traditional science fiction handicapped itself was to project this very, very, very accurate predictions into far future and into outer space, so that you have this sort of paradoxical thing of science fiction as bringing in the news, but it was simultaneously, as you were watching it, it was reenacting it as a sort of Star Trek episode, you know? And one sees in one's friends the way they sort of furnish their homes. There's a tremendous superabundance of fiction, of fantasy of every kind. One note of reality that's left, that's between our temples. Wool sweaters that have moth holes, or that someone sent through the washing machine, or they were ripped, whatever, falling out of fashion. I cut them up, and I piece them together with other sweaters. Then I use the cuffs of the sweater to be the cuff of the mitten. Then I line them with fleece, which is also recycled material made out of plastic bottles, shredded plastic. I use recycled thread. I used all the thread from my grandmother's old sewing basket after she died. Usually I just buy the thread, you know? Can you tell a story? Can you make us laugh? Can you make us want to break out, enjoy a song? Is there more than one thing? Okay. The point is I run this dump. And I don't know the technical mumbo jumbo. Why do I run it? I got horse sense, goddammit, showmanship. Coffee? Thank you, that's it. Woo! Hey, one thing. You know why they say break a leg? You know, break a leg? I don't know if that's true, but I think it's because you're supposed to break your leg when you walk. Thank you.